So in today's video, I am going to suggest that there is such a thing as called fast sex, and it's a bit like fast food, and whilst it can taste good and feel good in the short term, it's not the kind of sex that nourishes us for the long terms. It's not doing any good for our bodies particularly. It's not nourishing us spiritually, intellectually, emotionally, physically. It's not really doing anything for us. That if we're always just grabbing a bit of physical fast sex in our rapid fast lives, it's a bit like grabbing a diet of McDonald's and KFC every day. We are not really going to gain from it. So the realization came to me when I was studying Tantra and learning about how amazing sexual energy and moving it and growing it and flowing it around our bodies to nourish our bones, to nourish our cells, going to every organ, filling our bodies up with incredible life and vitality and love. And I was reflecting on how the sex I'd learnt as a young woman, not really learnt, just kind of absorbed from the culture around me, didn't pay any attention to any of this. I didn't learn anything about energy. I didn't learn about how it could nourish me. I didn't learn about how it could be actually good for my body. It was just a bit of fun, a bit of kind of like Saturday night entertainment. And I started seeing the comparison between the sex that I absorbed as a young woman and participated in as a young woman as being a bit like the food, or there was a similarity to the food that I grew up on in the 80s. This a diet of ready meals from the freezer, from the fridge, bunged in the microwave, slopped onto a plate. Here you go, kids. Here's your meal. And at the time, it was incredibly liberating for my mum to get food like this, to present food for a family that she was able to get hold of so easily, with so little effort, and just present to us all, feed us all, and off we went on our way. She wasn't chained in the kitchen any longer. She didn't have to spend her whole day toiling to produce an evening meal that the kids were going to throw down their necks in 10 minutes if they didn't whinge about it for an hour. Her life could extend beyond the kitchen, and it was incredibly liberating for my mother's generation of women. And then my generation of mothers, I want to do something better. I want to give my kids better quality food. I want to cook for them from scratch. I'm really proud when my children reflect on how much they enjoy eating food that's been cooked by me and by my partner. It's like, this is a family where we make the effort, the conscious effort to eat well. We buy good quality food and we cook good quality meals. And I think a similar kind of thing happened with sexuality, maybe a little bit before it happened with food, maybe around the same time. But particularly for female sexuality, it went from being completely shamed, repressed, shut down, not allowed, sinful, shameful, terrible, into this massive, joyful exploration and explosion of physical sexuality. We could have sex when we wanted, with whom we wanted, how we wanted. It was an amazing kind of explosion. And 20, 30 years later, we've got to a point where it's not working, where there's this very real thing called the orgasm gap, where there's very, very high levels of low libido, disinterest in sex amongst women, where women are reporting they don't enjoy sex, they don't find sex satisfying, they don't really want sex. What's going on? Now, I'm going to suggest it's because we've had too much fast sex, too much fast food sex, the variety that doesn't nourish us, the variety that doesn't light us up, the variety that doesn't make our bodies hum with life. That actually the kind of sex we need to develop into now, that we need to learn about, that we need to explore, is all about energy. It's much more subtle. It's about sensation. It's about connection. It is linked to love, not necessarily romantic love for your one lifetime partner. Very possible to have incredible intimacy and love with somebody in that moment and share something really beautiful, really bonding, really exquisite, spiritual. This is the kind of sex that really nourishes us for a lifetime. So, yeah, there's room, possibly in my diet for a McDonald's every now and then, there is room in my life for fast sex, for the quick sex, for the sex I don't think about. But there's also so much more room to learn about, become conscious of, to grow my awareness of and my learning about and my knowledge of a completely different realm of sexuality that's going to nourish me and make me feel amazing in my body for the whole of my life, for the rest of my life, and make my life someone that's a pleasure and joy and bliss forever and ever and ever and ever. If you're ready, like I am, to explore the realms of conscious sexuality, to learn how to nourish your body at a cellular level with your sexual energy, connect with me. You can do it in 2 ways. You can sign up for my newsletter and hear from me on a regular basis, or if you're impatient to learn more and to dive more deeply in some way into this, book a call with me. Let's have a talk. Speaking to me is completely complimentary and completely confidential. No, I don't share my information with other people. You will talk to me in confidence and maybe learn about the next steps you could take in developing your conscious sexuality. I look forward to hearing from you in some way. Take care. Lots of love. Bye now.